There's only one thing the Democrats do really well: sloganeering. Democrats are masters of the slogan, creating a catchy phrase to try to convince people to support their political policies. People fall for it too. Voters fall for it. Case in point, minimum wage hikes, or, as the Democrats' slogan charges people, fight for $15 an hour. The problem is, hiking minimum wage doesn't do what liberals claim it does. A $15 an hour minimum wage does not help low-income workers. In fact, a $15 an hour minimum wage law hurts low-income workers. Here's why. When politicians hike the minimum wage, businesses pass on that expense, the increased expense, to consumers, so products become more expensive. Who does that hurt the most? Well, low-income Americans who are forced to pay more for products than they were paying before. This may not affect wealthy people, but imagine if your grocery bill increased by even just a few percentage points when you struggle to put food on the table in the first place. Then, some businesses can't even stay afloat, even after passing on the cost of that increased wage to consumers, and those businesses close. Who does that hurt the most? Well, their employees, especially their minimum wage employees who rely on a paycheck to pay their bills. This is not hypothetical. Seattle's unemployment rate pre-COVID was higher after the minimum wage hike there. In San Diego, likewise, thousands and thousands of restaurant jobs have been lost since they hiked their minimum wage. Additionally, minimum wage hikes hurt the poorest families in our nation because in 57% of poor families, nobody has a job. Hiking minimum wage makes it much more difficult to break that cycle of poverty and find a job. In fact, according to analysis from the Federal Reserve, if politicians raise the minimum wage to just $10 an hour, not even the full $15 an hour, only 18% of that increase in income would go to families in poverty. But 32% of that increase in income would go to families in the top half of the income distribution. That's because a large portion of minimum wage earners in our nation aren't in poverty. They're secondary earners in high-income families, like teenagers working summer jobs or moms working part-time. So fighting for 15, as the Democrats' slogan claims, is really a farce. Hiking minimum wage not only doesn't help low-income workers, it actively hurts them. And the people who benefit from minimum wage hikes? Liberal politicians. Liberal politicians who need people to rely on unemployment and welfare in order to keep their political power.